Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Hope you're all making some good buys, making some good profits. First day of trading tomorrow after the New Year's close and the bank holidays and things like that. So we always see a big jump after weekends. We see a lot of movement when trading's been closed for a few days. So no doubt we'll see a lot of movement where trading's been closed for 5 days. Just quickly, I just want to say I only really started these videos because I was getting a lot of questions for advice. A lot of people wanted to know what I was doing, what I was buying. So it was just easier just to make these videos and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm no pro, I'm not an expert. I always encourage you to do your own research on top of what I say. I'm just giving you my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. I'll give you my opinion and why I think what I think, and then you can do your own research and form your own opinions off the back of that. Or if you want the easy option, of course, you can just click follow on my account, click copy on my eTORO account, and it will do exactly what I do, one for one. Right, so anybody that's been watching from before might remember the 1.0 series of videos that we did on plus 500 and setting up a demo mode account where you have the real market but fake money. Now I've moved away from using plus 500, to be honest. As much as I like it, it's a lot more risky than eTORO. The main reason being, like, eTORO leverages each buy individually and you can pick and choose your leverage. Whereas plus 500, you can't choose whether or not you have leverage. They offer you a certain amount of leverage for each position and you can't change that. So when you want extra leverage, you can't add it, and when you don't want any at all, you don't have that choice either. And the other thing is, if you come to my open positions and have a look at Ripple, so you see here, this Ripple is down £618, but I only paid 439. You see where it says initial margin along the bottom? So that's the amount I initially paid. So I've lost over 100% of what I invested, as it can draw money from my available without me having to set it, whereas that could never happen on eTORO. It would have automatically sold at around a 50% loss. So the most you can lose on your investment would be 50% if you lose leverage. If you don't use leverage, then yeah, it can go down to any price you set. We'll cover a bit more about leverages. If you just started trading and you don't understand what leverage is, we'll cover that more later. But so yeah, I'm going to move away from plus 500, but there is a few on here which they don't quite have on eTORO yet. I'm sure they will add them, but they're missing a lot of the Australia exchange. So we've got like Qantas Airways, ASX, Fortescue Metals. They're also missing, they've got lithium, but they haven't got as many options in lithium as plus 500 have. The cannabis stock index is listed slightly differently. It seems to move differently to the plus 500 one. And I know this one's really down at the moment, so I'm going to keep those open. Jinko Solar's not on there. They've been down a lot lately because they lost their CEO. But as soon as they get a new person in and confidence goes back in the company, I'm sure they'll go back up. Nothing's really changed to make them drop as much as they have. It's just confidence. So I'm sure they'll go back up. We have iLuca Resources, Xpeng and Datadog. There are more companies that are just not listed on eTORO, but I'm sure they'll be added. eTORO is growing all the time. It's one of the biggest apps out there. I'm sure it will become like the Facebook of trading. If I could buy shares in eTORO, I would, but unfortunately you can't yet. So yeah, so that's the main differences, is the leverage and how it leverages your account. Although it can work in your favour sometimes, mostly it makes it a lot more risky. So I did have some XRP positions open on eTORO and they hit their stop loss and sold at 50% loss. But then about half an hour later, XRP jumped 12% up. So if I'd had my stop loss a little bit lower, I would have made less of a loss. But ultimately, over the long run, I've made less of a loss on the eTORO buy because this one continued to go down since then. But ultimately, I did make the money back on XRP, and I'm sure when this lawsuit ends, that will go way back up into the green, into the profit. Alright, so let's go over to eTORO. So this is my eTORO profile, everything that I have open at the moment, sorted in order of profit and loss by percent. Let's sort that by value. So yeah, so this is everything I've got in order by the amount I've invested or the value in the stock. You can see Bongo there ahead of Nintendo, even though I've invested more in Nintendo. It's just made that much percentage recently, that much growth, at 230% since the 28th. so that's made some amazing growth. By far my best buy yet. But so I'm going to close down my plus 500 and just keep it open minimally for those 5 or 6 buys that it doesn't have. So we'll see on here, as I said, you can choose your leverage. You don't have to have leverage if you don't want. So if you see on Tesla, anything that says CFD has leverage. If I open up this one, it's got ×2 leverage. So just think of leverage as a multiplier. So if it goes up 1%, I'll make 5% profit on my investment. But if it goes down 1%, I would make a 5% loss as well. So it just multiplies everything. And there's also a slight charge. See at the bottom there, total fees, 35 cents. So it's not a massive charge, but over time it would add up. So yeah, I would use leverage on things that you're really confident are going to go up quickly or go up in like on a certain day. But things you want to use long term, I wouldn't use any leverage. And yeah, leverage is tempting, but it's also risky. If it works in your favor, it really works. When it doesn't, you can lose out big time. Sometimes it's better just to stick to no leverage and just be risk free. Well, not risk free, but minimal risk. Right, so we'll talk about setting up a virtual account on here. So you see where it says real, we'll go on here and we'll go over to virtual. That's going to give you $100,000 fake money, but to play on the real market. It works exactly the same as the normal app, exactly the same listings. You can transfer all your watch lists and everything will appear the same. So this one I just set up, I've not really been watching it. I spend all my time on my actual account, but yeah. So we're going to do some videos later on about predictions, or look through my other videos. Pick out some companies that you like for yourself and make some buys. So whenever I'm buying in, I don't just rush in and buy my full amount at once. I split your portfolio up into more companies the better. The more diverse your portfolio, the less likely it is you're going to take any big hits. You know, you're not going to win every stock. Something's going to go up, something's going to go down, but you want to win overall. So if we look, for instance, again at Tesla, you can see I bought on the 21st of December, the 30th of December, the 21st, the 31st. I haven't just bought it all at once. So I would have bought, same with, say, Nintendo. Lots of buys in there as the price has gone up and down. Good days to buy when equities come free, stuff like that. If I see something good pop up on the news, then, you know, a reason to add to a buy. Or if I notice something's doing particularly bad, if we go to the other way, profit and loss, the other end. So XRP and Nikola are long-term buys. I'm not too worried, they're in the red. Moderna, that was at about $1,000, so I cut that one right down. It's been underperforming. And yeah, I invested that money back in at the top. There's something you can do, you know, you don't have to rush in and put all your money on. Put a smaller amount on a wider spread of companies, and then you can adjust in time, change the performance. If they all go up, then you know you're winning. If they all go up, but 5 of them go up much more than the others, then you know you want to squeeze those underperformers and move that money into your faster growth areas. So that's a few of like the techniques and like strategies and things like that. So we've got your spreading your equity across lots of options, and even on those buys, spreading your buy. So if I want to put £1,000 on First Solar, I might buy 500 today, watch how it performs. If it's doing well, you know, put some more. If it drops a lot, check the reason why. If it's something that's going to recover, put some more. If you think it's something that's going to be a lasting problem, take some off. You know, and just adjust it bit by bit. You haven't got to move in big chunks. You can just move little bits at a time, and you're not going to maximize your profit that way, but you're going to be much safer. So let's cover a few of the ways that I would look to buy things. So you can come in here to the trade markets area, see the market movers, the things that have gone up and down the most that day. It's always a good place to check and just do your research on why. Don't just get the fear of missing out. Don't FOMO and just rush in. Do your research and see what's happening. Recently I've been buying some things, anything that's had some real big drops has been catching my eye. I look at why, because often you'll see things that will drop 30-40% in a day, but by the end of the day they're only 15% down. So if you can catch those ones on the drop, although they're down on the day, you've bought right at the bottom of that drop. So they might be down 20% on the day, but you'd be up 30% on the day. So you can see all of the different areas in here. So we're all going to have different areas that we like, but try not to just look at things you like. It's not about what you like, it's about what's going to make good growth. So if you had Ethereum today, you'd have made some good growth. Well, any crypto really. So crypto is doing well today, but crypto, again, we'll talk about that more in another video. It's high risk, high reward. So I'd only really put 10% of my overall equity into high risk, high reward things. Like you can find some good small cap stocks, like real low price tags, things that are only a few dollars a share. They're a bit riskier, but some of those will grow to be the Amazons and Facebooks of this world, you know. I've got a few on here. If we go back to my portfolio and we sort it by the number of units, so all these ones at the top that I've got high units for, they're usually much cheaper. So I have GCL Poly Energy there. They're so cheap for their sector, $1.21 a share. Yeah, I think they're going to do really well. Not so much at the moment, but it's a long-term buy. Cineworld here, they're trading at like £63 a share. At their height, I think they were $660 a share. So you see there's a lot of growth, potential growth there, potential recovery. There's one that I've got on order. Let's go to my orders section. So I've got a few on order. It's going to be a big week for NEO. NEO, $50 a share. It could go up to 300 allegedly within this year. We've got SHIP. They've seen like up to a 90% loss over the last year, trading 52 cents a share, which is so low for a company in that sector. I think it's only a matter of time before they're either going to go bust or somebody's going to buy them out and they're going to rapidly shoot up. So I've only put a minimum buy on there for a high risk, high reward thing, $100. So there's a good few buys there, things to look out. SMIC, NEO, SHIP, Boyd or 01211, 3800K, Gevo. They're all good renewable areas. If you look back at some of my other videos, you'll I'll go a bit deeper onto them and why I bought them. This one, 0968.HK, that's up there on the top of my my portfolio. If you search it by profit by percent, you see it's right up the top there. So definitely going to top that one up. So that's another way I can sort of assess my portfolio and see what's happening. So if we sort it by the amount invested, you see it comes up this way. So if you see something that's got the most invested but it's not doing very well, then you know something's wrong. But then if you sort by profit and loss, and there's something like this one, 03690, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but 03690, $50, but it's right up there in my top 10 for profit. So I definitely look to top that one up. Then if we go the other way at the losses, again, let's say we've already covered why those ones are down at the moment. Watch where as soon as Nikola secure another manufacturing deal, that will shoot up. As soon as XRP secure either a win or a loss with this lawsuit, I think either way it's going to go up because it will just be finished. As soon as the lawsuit's finished, they can get back to growth, as long as they're not forced to close down, obviously. So I doubt that will happen. They'll just have to pay a fine or do some legal paperwork. Maybe somebody will have to quit. But ultimately, it's not going to go anywhere. And there's a massive room for recovery. So again, high risk, high reward. As long as you've got 90% of your equity in solid buys that are good researched, strong growth areas, you can afford to risk that 10% in high risk, high reward areas. So another place to research is eTORO will notify you of some good accounts, top performing accounts and things like that. So if we go in here and we come to my watch list, we come here, top followed. These are some of the accounts that I've noticed that have been performing well over time. There's another one on here, Jay Smith. He's got the most follows out of anybody. Got this guy, Eduardo. He's been performing really well lately. He focuses on like electric vehicles and solar energy, which I also focus on, so we've got a lot of the same buys. But yeah, you can look at these accounts of people that are doing good performance, 12 months in profit, things like that. And you can see how much they've made in 3 months or 6 months. So you can imagine if you'd bought into Eduardo 6 months ago, you'd have made 133% profit. If you'd have bought into Napoleon X 3 months ago, you'd made 100% profit. But the problem with buying these is they all have really big minimum buys. So sometimes it's easier just to look in there, see what they've got, and yeah, buy into that, you know. So research why, obviously. If it's a top account and it's got a high amount of equity invested in a company, then it's a good signal, you know. Look into why, but always do your own research. Don't just buy it because somebody else has bought it. But if it's a good signal to look at, and then you do your research and it comes up with more good signals, then it's a more definite buy. So I would use things like Google News, Motley Fool, the Financial Times. Try and, like, if you know anybody else that trades, you know, talk to them. We've got those places that I saw on eTORO, showed you on eTORO. Also, when you sign up to eTORO, once you get to certain levels, they give you like free access to premium tools. You get like your own account manager you can speak to if you have any problems, or you want to talk about some plans or anything like that. Really good good guys to speak to. Really useful information. Give you free access to like web videos and some things. So eToro's got loads of its own tools built in, but there's loads of other free ones as well. Free ones out on Google. The only one I pay for is the Motley Fool everlasting stocks. Pay £75 a year, and it's already made me much more than that from some of their stock advice. So well worth the buy. Anything else really, I would just focus on getting that eToro equity up so that you get access to all the free premium tools. Because otherwise, that £50 a month, say that you're paying for premium tools, you could be transferring that £50 a month to your equity and then get those tools for free from having the equity. You don't even have to have it on the market, you just have it as equity in your account. So yeah, if you want to get involved but you've not got money at the moment, or even if you do have money, come over here. Virtual portfolio, real market, fake money, and yeah, just learn the trade. I mean, you can't lose money. All you can do is gain the knowledge. But yeah, if you want to invest but you don't have time, I'd recommend the copy portfolios. As you can see my name there, Luke Corriette. I reckon I'll hit 100k milestone this month. I have no idea what we could hit this year. It's going to be my first full year back trading after about a 5-6 year gap. And it's been such a bad year leading up to this year that there's such high growth in areas. Companies that have made money every year for 10 years are at like 10-year lows. Things like Coca-Cola and EasyJet. Look up Diageo, Gevo, Neo, Tesla. As I say, my biggest winner so far, Bio Nano or Bongo. Who knows where they're going to hit. Somebody said that their lead competition is selling for over $260 a share, and Bongo is still only $3 a share. So you can imagine if they go up to the price of their competition, it'll be unreal. Let's just see the guy below. Is Bio Nano a Cinderella story? It's there. He's talking about its 50% margins and how it's got over quadruple revenue. But yeah, there's always a good chat going on underneath these stocks when you look them up on eToro. So there's 4 or 5 good research places, good ways to pick the names to research in the first place, you know. That's often the problem. People say, all right, I've got good research tools, but what do I search? Or there's too much choice. How do I refine my choice? So they say we do what we call like get your price anchoring going, put a minimal buy in to add these companies to your watch lists. Watch them from there. If you watch them and they're performing them well, then you can put a small buy in. If they're still performing well, you can put a bigger buy in. And yeah, don't rush into anything. Take your time, especially on virtual mode. Treat it like it's real money. Don't treat it like you got a 300 grand, otherwise you're not really learning. Treat it like that's your 100 grand. Yeah, and good luck to everybody. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Keep watching. There's quite a few on the account now. If you're just starting, have a scroll back and look through at some of the recommendations from the past. You'll see how well some of them are performing. So we won't get it right every time. nobody ever will, and we just aim to be always up consistently every month, up overall on equity. We'll have some wins, we'll have some losses, but as long as we're overall up on equity every single month, then that's my goal. So yeah, good luck everyone, and I'm going to post some more videos this week about electric vehicles. There's a lot of heat in the electric vehicle market, there's a lot of competition heating up. I think we're going to see some big jumps, especially from like some of the smaller companies like NIO and XPeng and Tesla of course. So yeah, I'm going to do a big electric vehicle video next, and I'll post that today. So yeah, please subscribe. Good luck to everyone.